Recording in progress.
This is Rockin' with Jan is with Brandon Mendenhall. So how you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You got Brandon Mendenhall and you got Mario Valadez, and
Yeah.
we're both from the Mendenhall Experiment. I play guitar. Mario's the vocalist of the band, and we're happy to be here.
So Brandon, taking it back, what was the moment in your life when you said, "I'm going to be a guitarist, no matter what anyone thinks"?
I think the most pivotal moment that everybody knows from the movie Mind Over Matter is that that moment when my dad came into my room and my grandfather, and he didn't even know I had a guitar because I had to borrow money from my grandma and then hide the guitar when my dad was home. I put it away in the case, and even though I had like a huge amplifier, like 2x12 amplifier at the end of my bed, he never really came in my room, so he didn't really notice. And I kept the guitar put away. But on that particular day, he was home from work, and I was playing, and just at that point I didn't care about hiding it anymore. And he kind of stood in the doorway of my bedroom and was like, listen to me play for a few minutes, and he was like, "You'll never be a guitarist. Turn that turn that fucking shit down." Is exactly what he said to me, and that messed me up pretty bad. Like that was, Dad, even though he was rougher on the edges, he was somebody I looked up to a lot. He taught me a lot about work ethic and how to be a man, so to speak. So he, he damaged me that day, but then he also lit a fire in my soul so big that you can still see it burn now. And everything that we do, it's like I'm gonna do this and play guitar and be successful at it no matter what.
So being born with cerebral palsy, you faced challenges from day one. What kept you mentally locked in when the world told you no?
Just my piss and vinegar attitude of not wanting to listen to what anybody else had to say, and wanting to do my thing, and do it no matter what. I was faced with so many things that I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to be an NHL star. I wanted to join karate and study the martial arts, and everything I chose to do as a kid, everybody told me, no, you can't do that because your disability, you can't, it's too physical, you can't do that. And all I wanted to do was be quote unquote normal with all the other neighborhood kids, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when it came to music, I was a little bit older. I got into heavy music around 11 or 12, but I didn't get my first guitar until I was 19. So as I got more of a teenager, my attitude got bigger, and
Mhm.
my willingness to take no for an answer went away.
So you've earned multiple Danny Awards and traveled the country raising disability awareness. When did you realize TMX was becoming a movement and not just a band?
I think I think that was the intention right from the beginning. In the very beginning, no. Initially, when I started writing stuff for the Mendenhall Experiment, I thought it was going to be like a Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, like industrial kind of thing. And the very early shows, I had a sampler, and I cut audio clips from different horror movies, and I had all that stuff in between the songs, and it was very like a Clockwork Orange meets like a Rob Zombie kind of show.
Mhm.
But once we found Mario and we put vocals to all the songs, um, you know, it became very apparent that the music changed direction, and it became a focal point of like well, let's do something extremely positive with the band, and let's make it a movement because the world needs that. You know, the world needs somebody to stand up for the disabled community and say, you know, we are people too, and we're capable of doing much more than most people give us credit for. So it just kind of morphed into what I felt like it needed to be.
What is one thing people always misunderstand about your story? Something you wish they truly understood?
I think the biggest common misconception is a lot of people think that the band is all about me or that I write all of the music 100%, and I don't. I write portions of the music with the band members in my band and the producer Chris Collier that we work with, and you know I contribute a lot to the band business wise, financial wise, writing wise. I do my fair share for sure, but I'm not the sole songwriter in the entire mix, and I couldn't do it, the band and have this band be at the level that it's at without the other four guys and five guys counting the producer that we have behind us. They all put in their part and bring in their own individuality and flavor to what we do, and I think that's what truly makes us stand out from everybody else.
When you listen back to Chasing Ghosts, which track feels the most Brandon, the one that carries like you in every single riff?
Chasing Ghosts, the one that sticks out to me the most. Oh, oh man, that's a tough one because "Seize the Day" is obviously, you know, our most successful song, and for all intents and purposes, that song is what me and the guys at the label at Lucent Records always refer to as the gift that keeps on giving. We released that song as a single 9 years ago, and it just keeps generating income and buzz and popularity for us 9 years later to the point of we said, well, if we're doing a singles compilation, we might as well put it on Chasing Ghosts, being that it's the most successful single release we've ever had. But speaking from a musical standpoint, out of all the songs on Chasing Ghosts, I would say one of the songs that resonates with me the most that doesn't get as much attention is a song that we did called Say It.
Yeah.
And that to me I think is one of our heaviest songs that we've ever made, and it's very special to me because I wrote that song in conjunction with our longtime friend William Wilhelms, my buddy Will, and friend of the band Will. Will helped me produce a lot of early demos in the writing for the last two EPs. He was there with me when I was putting stuff together for Against All Odds, and of course Chasing Ghosts, and you know him and I come up with the verse riff and the chorus riff for Say It, and I was trying to figure out where it needed to go, and like Will was there in our rehearsal studio with me, and we were working out the parts, and we kind of figured it all out, um, and got it to fit together, and then I remember the rest of the band came in that night, and we finished that song on the spot, and it made that song super special because everybody in the band kind of got to put their piece of the music in there, like on the spot. Like right there that night, we kind of we kind of put it all together and that set like that in pre-production status until we took it to the studio to record it for the album.
I didn't even know that story. I like that.
If you could collaborate with any guitarist, dead or alive, who's the dream session?
Um, well, I mean, I kind of already had that dream session. I got to collaborate with my big homie, my number one hero, my biggest mentor of my music career, James Monkey Schaefer from Korn. Got to do a song on our very first EP with him, a song called Prosthetic. And then another one of my heroes, Danny Muller from Nine Inch Nails, he wrote the keyboard bookends for the beginning and the end of our very first EP. And then, we got to work with Chris Garza from Suicide Silence on the second EP for a song called Pulse of the Lost. And if I had to go out and say, you said guitarist, correct? If I got a chance to work with
Yeah.
another guitar player, like living or dead, or just living,
A living and dead.
living and dead. That one's easy. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, of course.
All right.
Um, but yeah, that we actually try. That's one of our signature traits. Is on every release that we do, we try to at least have one guest feature that will blow people's minds, so to speak. Chasing Ghosts kind of got the local hero. We chose David Leach from Dirty Machine to be featured on the song called The Take. Um, and yeah, I know he's not a super huge rock star, but he's a very good friend of ours, and he's been there from the very beginning of the Mendenhall Experiment. So we thought it was right and proper to put him on a song and give him his moment.
What's the dumbest thing you've ever done with a guitar?
The dumbest thing I've ever done with my guitar, Mario, you want to tell him the story about how I smashed my Silverburst Les Paul the night before we played the Whiskey?
Yeah, he trusted me to not step behind on my way down from the riser right behind me. Anyway.
Oh no, he's telling the second break story.
I'm still
So
traumatized, dude. I feel bad about that.
so I'll tell the whole thing. So back in the beginning of the band, once we got signed, we gotten an endorsement deal with Gibson Guitars, and I was a Les Paul guy, and so my main guitar was a Silverburst Gibson Les Paul. EMG is in it, the whole nine. Favorite guitar, most expensive guitar I've ever owned at the time, and we got called to play. We got called to play the public memorial for Lemmy Kilmister when he died. I believe it was 2015 at the Whiskey A Go Go. We got called at the last minute to play that show. We knew it was going to be sold out. We knew it was going to be crazy, and it was. And we were in rehearsal the night before, and our drummer showed up late, and then he gave me a bunch of attitude, a bunch of lip, and he said something to me that was very offensive. And instead of like taking my guitar off and walking away like an idiot, I took my guitar and I threw it at the ground instead of throwing it at his head. and I snapped the headstock on my left wall on my main guitar. So not only did I break my favorite guitar of all time at that time, um, I had to scramble to get another guitar for the gig the next night. Luckily, Monster Energy came through and let me borrow the Monster Energy Gibson Les Paul for that show. And then Mario's telling the story about the second break to the guitar. I gotten it repaired, and we were out on tour with Smile Empty Soul, and I think Flaw was on that tour as well. We were in Arizona. The show was like packed. I think it was sold out, and it was the end of the set, and I put my guitar down on the monitor, and I let it ring out like Kurt Cobain status. And this guy is all the way over on the other side of the stage. He'd already come over to my side. So I put my guitar down because he was all the way over on stage left. And I'm like, cool. I let it ring out. I walk off stage. I know more to get down the steps of the stage, and I hear this loud crack. And Maury go, fuck! And I'm just like, oh no. So tell the story, Mario.
Uh, about how you got like an endorsement with Ibanez now, which is
No,
super
about
awesome.
how you jumped on the guitar because you didn't see it.
Jump on the oh, I jumped on the guitar like a horse. Did I got on that pony, bro? And I was like, smash, smash guitar. That's crazy. Nah, yeah, I was up on the riser and it was behind me unknowingly. I stepped back to get off the riser, of course. Crack. There goes the Gibson. Oh man, I was gonna wear my Gibson beanie too.
What
But
he's really trying to say is he didn't see it when he came back across and
when I came
stepped
back
on
down across, motherfucker, I was coming back down. I was coming back down from the riser. Had one place to step down on, and that was where your guitar happened to be for
it.
some
Dude, you
reason.
were over on the other side of the stage, dog.
Oh, whatever. Tell a story, however. I don't got proof of this. I'm traumatized
Anyway,
for the fact that it happened. Feel
any,
bad
anyway, the guitar
about
got
that.
broken twice. It now hangs on my wall. It's kind of retired. It's been fixed, but it doesn't stay too very good anymore.
I really like that guitar.
If you could time travel and play guitar in any decade, which era are you choosing?
If I could time travel and pick a guitar from any era,
Yeah.
oh man, I would go back to the '90s and I would get one of the original um, Steve Vai universes, the swirl ones,
Mm-hmm.
while they were still affordable, because they're like $14,000 now.
So you rebuilt your left hand without surgery for practicing the guitar. Why did I say that? Sorry. How much of that was pain, and how much was discipline, and how much was pure heart?
Um, I would say 30, 30, 30, or, or like, whatever that shakes, like an equal percentage. 33, 33, 33, like, you gotta, um, it was a lot of, well, let me retract that. It wasn't a lot of physical pain. It was a lot of mental pain, mental toughness, and a lot of, like, blood, sweat, and tears. Because, when you put your hand on an instrument, like the fretboard of a guitar, and you want it to do something, and you're telling your brain to make your hand move, and your hand just doesn't move that way, it kind of messes with you for a long time. Um, and it took me, oh man, I started playing guitar when I was 19, and I truly didn't like really start making progress on it until I was like probably 23, 24 even, I would say. And the band played its first show when I was 25. So it took a bit. It took a bit to get it to get my hand from work to where it is now. And then like any other guitar player, you've got to get both your hands to work in sync, you know? Like that thing that guitarists always talk about, like your hands have to be married and they have to be in sync. It's 100% true. So it was a lot of that, but um, it took a few years. But once I figured out a way to make it work for me as far as using drop tunings, um, then the kind of floodgates opened and I was able to start writing material, songs and riffs that became, songs as we know in the Mendenhall Experiment. It's fun that the very first riff that I wrote on guitar that was my own was uh, it's the main riff in a song called Breaking Out, and we play that song every night as our opener, and it sounds a lot like Chords Blind, but that was my favorite band, and that was an easy riff to kind of learn when I was first getting my hand moving. So, like, it kind of sounds like Blind, it kind of doesn't sound like Blind, and Monkey said he wouldn't sue me, so I'm good.
What is the most powerful message you want listeners, especially young kids with disabilities, to take away from your story?
But you can do anything you put your damn mind to. Everything in life is about this right here. Mind over matter. And life is gonna suck. It's gonna get hard. And you're gonna wanna quit. But if you really wanna do something and achieve something in life, don't fucking quit. If you quit, it's all over. But if you keep going, you're gonna get to where you wanna go. It might take you a little longer, but you're gonna get there.
So you toured, performed, and advocated in it too so much. What still pushes you every morning to keep grinding?
The fans, man, people like you that come up to me and remind me that I am an inspiration to others, and that what we're doing in this band is bigger than me and bigger than the five of us, and it means a lot to people across the country and across the world, and that we need to continue to do it because it's a vehicle of hope and inspiration that helps people, and we can't see it all the time, but when we get that feedback, it really keeps us going, because as it sits right now, I could pack up shop today and go, I've toured around the country. I've went to Moscow, Russia. I've got Spotify plaques hanging on my wall. I've got a movie about my life that has 14 different awards from it. I've worked with my heroes, and I put out a couple records. I could be totally satisfied with my career and just move on to something else. But I think what keeps me doing this and pushing this band and giving this everything I have into this band is I realize that it's bigger than me. It's bigger than all five of us, and it means something to the world. So we have to keep doing it.
All right. Thank you so much for being on my show. It's been my pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
No
Thanks
problem.
for
Take
having us,
care.
man.
Thank you.
Bye.